Do you mean to kill me, Embers? Because if you're to be the end of me, it's an end I'll greet with open arms. Blech. Can you believe this guy? Talk about desperate.
That's a direct quote from Iron and Embers. The book we are ostensibly discussing, it's meant to convey profound devotion in the face of, well, potential assassination. Context matters.
Context? The context is he sounds like my creepy neighbor Gary after 3 wine coolers. Profoundly devoted to getting his lawn gnome back. Anyway, welcome back to Heart Book Radio, the only book show brave enough to admit reading is mostly about judging people. I'm Roxy Riot.
And I'm Dr. Alistair Finch. Today we're dissecting Helen Scheuerer's Iron and Embers, a book apparently so emotionally devastating, readers are literally demanding the author face criminal charges. Which is, of course, hyperbolic nonsense.
Is it, though? I heard there's a class action lawsuit brewing, emotional damages. Apparently, the ending leaves you feeling like your soul got put through a paper shredder. Which, honestly, sounds kind of metal. But this author, Scheuerer, she's basically a literary terrorist.
She's a fantasy author, not a Bond villain. The book follows Wren, an alchemist-turned-assassin seeking revenge who returns to a deadly magic academy saddled with a bodyguard, Torj, who supposedly hates her but is clearly smitten. It's standard romantasy fare, albeit with a particularly cruel cliffhanger.
Standard. Please. This Wren character sounds like Wednesday Addams. If she traded the cello for actual poison and had a bodyguard built like a Viking god who wants to climb her like a forbidden tree, you know, like that disastrous pineapple incident book you made us read, where the main character was just beige. This is not beige.
Let's not dredge up the pineapple incident again. My therapist is still recovering. Focusing on Wren, she's a classic traumatized anti-heroine, vengeance-driven, emotionally stunted, probably suffering from complex PTSD with antisocial personality traits.
Oh my god, are you diagnosing fictional characters again? She's an assassin. It's not PTSD, it's a career path. And honestly, good for her. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Poison. Your boss steals your lunch. Poison. It's efficient. I bet she'd be great at parties. Gets rid of the bores.
She'd likely poison the host for serving subpar canapes. She's described as having iron walls around her heart. She's dangerous, scheming, frankly, unlikable.
Unlikable, says you. The fans call her a queen. They love her. She's got issues, sure, who doesn't? My Aunt Carol collects porcelain cats and thinks the government is run by squirrels, but she makes a mean casserole. Wren just happens to collect poisons instead of cats. Relatable.
Comparing a trained killer to your Aunt Carol is illuminating. And then there's Torj, the bear slayer, the hammer daddy, as some eloquent reviewers call him, the brooding bodyguard.
Okay, see? He's the problem. Mister, I hate you, but I'm obsessed with you, and will kill anyone who looks at you funny. Talk about mixed signals. He sounds exactly like my ex Dave. 1 minute it's, I need space. The next he's keying my car because I liked someone else's photo. Torj is just Dave with magic scars and better abs. It's creepy. Green flag. More like a giant flashing red siren attached to a restraining order.
The readers seem quite taken with him. Down bad, on my knees begging. Man I will obsess over for years. It speaks to a certain romantic idealization of obsessive protection, perhaps. Though one reviewer did note he has some explaining to do.
Yeah, explaining why he's such a possessive weirdo. And those sidekicks Kip and Cal, total filler. Probably just there so Wren doesn't poison everyone out of sheer boredom before page 50. Useless, like decorative soap.
They provide levity, comic relief, a necessary counterpoint to the pervasive angst and, well, murder, which brings us to the crux of it. Is Iron and Embers actually any good, beyond the hype and the histrionics?
Okay, the idea of a deadly alchemy school. Genius. Hogwarts, but with actual consequences. Like, instead of losing house points, you lose a kidney. I'm in. But then some reviewer said that deadly trials were not deadly. Make up your mind, people. Was it deadly or was it just, like, aggressive chemistry homework?
The subjective experience of peril in fiction is fascinating, but let's talk about that ending. Reviewers are saying, and I quote, Helen, that ending was brutal and deserves jail time. Another, Helen, I am sending you my therapy bill, because my heart hurts.
C. Jail time. Therapy bills. This isn't just reading, it's emotional warfare. I read one review where the person literally typed cries in the middle of a sentence. They had to take a crying break.
While extreme, the cliffhanger is a time-honored, if occasionally frustrating, narrative device designed to ensure reader engagement for the sequel. It's manipulative, perhaps, but hardly criminal.
Manipulative. It's emotional terrorism. It's like giving someone a puppy and then immediately running it over with a steamroller. Why would you do that to people? It's sick. Actually, wait, no. It's kind of brilliant. Make them hurt. Make them need the next fix. Scheuerer isn't an author. She's a dealer. And I kind of respect it.
You've just done a complete 180, based on the perceived cruelty of the author. Sometimes I worry about your moral compass. It spins like a weather vane in a hurricane. Remember the pineapple incident. You sympathized with the fruit.
The pineapple was misunderstood? Anyway, this book, it's got assassins, poison, a creepy, hot bodyguard, magic school death traps, and an ending that makes people want to sue. What's not to love? It sounds terrible. And amazing.
So, our final verdict, using our highly scientific rating system.
I give Wren Embervale 8 out of 10 therapy sessions I now apparently need. It hurt me, therefore it must be important.
I give it 3 out of 7 questionable alchemy ingredients. The prose is competent, the world-building serviceable, but the emotional manipulation is blatant and the character psychology is concerning. Read it if you enjoy angst, and don't mind your fictional attachments being used as emotional punching bags.
Next week, folks, we're tackling sentient staplers of the 7th dimension. Apparently, it's a searing indictment of office supply hierarchies. Sounds riveting.
I suspect you made that title up. Until next time, keep your pages turning and your expectations managed. This has been Heartbook Radio.